Princess Farida, I want to welcome you to Without Shackle today.
Thank you, ma'am.
First of all, who is Princess Farida?
Princess Farida is a mother, is a wife to a pastor, is a musician, is a mentor, all those things, is a lover of Jesus.
And what is Princess doing with the name?
Okay.
I didn't hear you saying I am the princess of.
No. I'm not a princess of any country, but you can call me God's princess.
Okay.
Yeah. But this name, I got it from people in school. They used to look at me and say, oh, you like to behave like a princess. You want to be neat all the time and organized and all that. Because, you know, in my country, you can wear a uniform the whole week without washing it. But I used to like washing it every day. So my mom could keep me so clean that they just felt that they should call me princess. So when I started dancing, I decided, why not? There's a name here. Let me just put it before my name, Farida.
So as I understood, Princess Farida, you were a professional dancer in Kenya.
Yes.
Well, tell me a little bit about that.
Okay. I started dancing and I started winning competitions. And I was crowned a queen of Chakacha for many, many years in my country.
What is Chakashta?
It's a dance that is done at the coastal by women, not men. You're only taught when you're maybe at the age of 10 years or before you get married, because you're supposed to dance it for your husband in the bedroom. But I used to dance it in the nightclub.
So is it like a Kenyan tradition?
It's a Kenyan tradition, but at the coast.
Okay.
But it's a sensual dance, so it is not to be danced in front of men or people. But I took what was, in the public. I took what was private, I brought it to the public.
So it was supposed to be danced only in the bedroom, only for the husband.
Yes.
But you became a professional dancer
for that dance.
Of Chakashta?
Yes.
And in the public?
Yes. And I was crowned the queen.
In Kenya?
Yes. I kept defending my crown all the time because of that dance.
And yet, as you said, it's a sensual dance.
Yes, it is.
But Princess Farida, as I know, when you were a professional dancer, you were a Muslim, wearing the hijab.
Yes.
How did that work together?
Okay, what I used to do is my parents never knew that I was a dancer. So for almost a year, I used to hide myself with my sister at night when they go to bed. We take our hijabs and just run out of the house and go to nightclubs until the morning, until 4 in the morning. So we come back when they're still asleep. Until one day they saw me in the newspapers that I had won. So that's how they came to know that I was dancing. But they never knew. Yes.
So in the day, in front of your parents' eyes, you are this devout Muslim wearing the hijab.
Yes, and praying 5 times.
Praying 5 times a day.
On Fridays, going to the mosque without fail.
Okay.
And reading the Quran in Swahili.
And how could you reconcile these 2 lives together, you know, like that life of, especially in Islam, where women, they don't have their freedom. They cannot be in public places. They cannot be at a nightclub dancing, while in the day they're wearing the hijab. And so where were you at with your religious walk back then? Like, what did you think of God? What did you think of the Quran? What did you...
Okay,
when you were like doing the
doing
dancing?
All that?
Yes.
To me, everything was pretense. Because I could also see with my cousins and some of my aunties, they pretend to be these strict Muslims, but then they're not. Because they will hide and go to the market, they will hide and go to the cinema halls, they will hide and go to dates with boyfriends without the knowledge of the parents. So for me, I took from them, I said, oh, it's not a big deal. So I can still do this and pretend to be strict in prayer and reading the Quran and still do my stuff in hiding.
So you saw that you were not the only one who was living a false life or a fake life, but everyone around you was doing the same thing.
Yes, they were.
They're not honest in their living. Well, they are pretending to be devout Muslims, but at the same time doing the things that any person who have their freedom want to do.
It's true, because you find that every time you're very strict with something, people will want to break that rule. Yeah, that I came to know. That when something is very strict, you know, everything is don't, people want to know, why are you saying no? Yeah, so they'll break that. So that is what happens. I'm not afraid to say that many people, many Muslims live that life of pretense. Because one, they don't even understand what they're praying.
Let's go back a little bit to the dancing. So here you are, this covered up Muslim devout woman in the day, and at night you sneak to the nightclub and you dance, and you become #1 dancer in Kenya.
Yes.
So when the public saw that, what was the reaction, and how did it affect you?
Oh, okay. When my daddy saw that in the newspapers, he was very mad, because that morning I came back from the club and he had bought the newspaper. I pretended I was sleeping and he came and hit me with that newspaper. My mom was yelling everywhere. So I didn't know what to do, but they beat me up. They beat me, I mean, threw me outside with my clothes. They said, you cannot do this as a Muslim lady doing that. And because in a nightclub, you know, you dance with your tummy outside.
Right,
and you have
showing.
So when my dad knew that, they beat me up, they chased me out, but after like 24 hours, they took me in again, because I was crying a lot and I refused to go anywhere, because I felt if I go to my aunties or any other person, I will become a bad girl. And I didn't want that, because I never used to drink, smoke, or drink. I just said, let me just dance, because this is a talent that God has put in me, and let me use it. So when that came in the open, that I am the queen, and they wrote, Malindi Girl Takes It All, that was very bad for me, because they felt like I've let them down, and like almost like a prostitute. I didn't deserve any respect anymore. But
so you lost the family respect.
Yeah, I did.
And how did that affect you?
Oh, for me, it's for some. I didn't care.
You didn't care.
I didn't care because I had won. I was famous. And immediately I won the competition. I started traveling out of the country. So I could stay like 3 months, 6 months, a year out of the country. So when my parents started seeing money coming in, they accepted. He said, yes, and now I'll let you dance. I will let you dance, because I've seen you don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't do prostitution. Because that's what many dancers do. After you perform, you go out with a man. Okay. Guy, and wake up in the morning somewhere you do not know. So he let me dance.
So now your father was okay with you not being veiled, with you not being covered, with you dancing in front of man?
Yes.
He was okay with all of that?
And then I used to bring a lot of money home. I paid for my school fees, my brothers and sisters' school fees. So
you became a supporter.
Yeah, I was providing for them.
Farida, you said at the beginning, you said you were a pastor's wife.
Yes.
So you want to recap? How did that happen? When did you become a Christian?
When I became a Christian.
And how did it happen?
I didn't tell you. I used to watch Christian programs at night. I could hide, and in the middle of the night, I could just watch and pray the sinner's prayer. But when nothing happens to me, I'd say, okay, I'll pray tomorrow. Because I thought it's dramatic.
Hold on. So in the day, you wear the niqab, you go to the mosque.
Yes.
At night, you go to nightclubs.
Yes.
You perform sensual dancing.
Yes.
And then you come home and watch Christian television.
Yes. When everybody is sleeping, I could watch Christian preaching. And when the pastor says that you can pray the sinner's prayer, for some reason, I used to pray after him.
Why?
But then I thought it could be dramatic, or something that I could fall, or, you know, something I could just feel something, or I could change. So I could pray and then go like, nothing has changed. Maybe tomorrow. So
let me go back and dance.
Yeah.
So why?
I didn't know what salvation meant.
Why did you feel compelled to pray the sinner's prayer?
What happened was, on my way from the UAE, I'd like stayed for 1 year. On the way from the UAE, on the plane, I meet this flight attendant who comes to me and says, Farida, we want to show you how we operate the plane. So when I went to the cockpit, I took one of my dancers because I was with my full band on the plane. So when I took my dancer to the cockpit, we sat and we were just talking to the pilots, but something caught my eyes. I looked out of the clouds and there were people dressed in brilliant white. Yes, and they were worshiping the Lord.
Like a vision.
But the moment that I said I want to go with those people, I was not in the plane anymore. It's like something took me out of the plane. And I said, why can't I go with those people? A voice spoke to me and said, Farida, you cannot go with those people because you're a sinner. So when this voice spoke to me, I felt a sinner. And then he asked, if this plane crashes right now, where will you go? And when he asked that, I saw like the plane crash and I was standing alone crying and repenting. I cried and repented. Then he touched my shoulder, a soft touch, a touch that I've never felt before, a touch that switched on everything inside of me. Like I felt light, I felt joy, I felt new. It switched on and he said, my daughter, you have the last chance to go to heaven, but you have to go to church. Yeah, so when he said that, I felt forgiven. Wait, sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. When he said that, I felt good, and I knew something had happened, something great had happened to me, but when he said that I go to church, I didn't know what to do with that part. And then when I saw myself crying and repenting, I knew I was talking to a high authority. I knew I was talking to somebody like the Creator, you know, that somebody that had power over me, you know, like somebody that owned me. Yes. I didn't think about Jesus Christ because it was never in my mind, but I knew something had happened. So when I went to church is when now the pastor said, oh, you met the Lord. But I knew it changed. When I received Christ on the plane, everything, you know, just changed completely. So I just went to church after 3 days and prayed the sinner's prayer. And from that day, I walked the Christian walk.
What did you do?
So what I did was, after a month, the Lord spoke to me again and said, if you're ashamed of me in front of my people, I'll be ashamed of you in front of my Father. I knew after some 2 years or so is when I knew that that was a word from the Bible. So when he said that, that's the day I called for a meeting and spoke to my parents. I told them, I called all of them, my brothers and my sisters and my dad and my mom. But I was careful. I didn't sit around with them. Yeah, I was a bit far because I knew things will happen here. So when I announced that from today I'm a Christian, and then I will not be dancing anymore, they thought I'm going crazy. Yeah. So first of all, my sister said, you know, she went to this other church the other day, and they did something. You know, they're speaking in tongues. My sister and I, we've never had such a thing. So she said they bewitched her, black magic or something. So that's why she's talking like that. But I said, I know what I'm saying. I'm serious. From today, I'll be going to church and I'm not a Muslim anymore. My dad wanted to hit me. My brother wanted to beat me up. But I kept my distance. So my mom was very careful to hear what I'm saying. She really wanted to understand. So I explained to her. She said, my daughter, you've just bought new equipments. You have just recorded the best CD that we have never had before. And you have your own band now. So how come you're quitting music and you're not going to be going to the mosque anymore? Just tell me, are you serious what you're saying? I said, yes. So when my mom knew that I was very serious, she woke up and I don't know where she got the rope from. She got a rope and ran outside to hang herself.
Oh.
Yeah. So when I saw that, I was very sad. I love my mom very much. I told God, please, Lord, don't let my mom die. I love her so much. I will serve you if you let her live. So when I say that, I tried to run out to help her, but they were mad with me. They were mad with me. They said, why do you want to mock mom, father? Just stay away from us. We don't want to know anything about you anymore. So since that time, for almost 2 years, I was all alone. They didn't want anything to do with me. I could just spend my whole day in church, praying and fasting and seeking the face of the Lord. I had no friends. Everybody just, my family, my friends, nobody wanted to have anything to do with me, but God gave me a family in church. I met spiritual dad, and he took care of me.
Was it easy for you to let all the fame, all the glory of the world, your family, go just because of that vision that you saw of Jesus, or of the voice that called you that you are forgiven and you need to be able to go to heaven? You gave your everything that meant anything to you in life for that voice. How did you do it? And how did you trust that that was God's voice?
Because something was just, it had confirmation in me, and I could just feel, I trusted that voice immediately, because I remember that voice when I was young, that this is a little secret and the reading of the word. And then I remembered that he's not gonna harm me. He's telling the truth. And there's a word that the Lord gave me, that I'll never leave you nor forsake you. That is the word that kept me going all through. But I believe that the hand of God was upon me, because I forgot about everything. I forgot the money, I forgot the equipment, I forgot my life, that I was living, and I just decided I will just follow Jesus and nothing else. How come I'm pastor's wife? When I got born again, I go to this church, and then he's one of the pastors, and he starts mentoring me. He became my mentor for 2 years. He became my mentor and taught me how to hear the voice of God and the word of God. And I had so many questions about religion and this Christianity. I had so many questions. For some reason, I asked so much than I used to ask in the Islamic, because I was more interested, and I felt that this is real. I could pray for someone and they get healed. I could, God could show me things, and I could, if I didn't understand, I could ask him. So after 2 years, we started feeling, we love one another. And so we started dating. We dated for a year, and we got married.
As I said, you left so much for God.
Yes.
What God gave you, what Jesus gave you, that money, fame, the world could not give you, that you could let everything go just to be for him?
What I can say is I got peace. There is something that the world does not have, is peace. Even with these celebrities you see around, they are famous, but when they are alone, they cry. Because that's what I used to do.
Did you cry?
I used to cry.
Why?
Behind the stage, I used to cry for nothing. You just feel like it is too much, and people are expecting too much from you, and you can't give them more. So that void that only Jesus fills is the thing that is lacking in the people of the world. So once it's filled, you don't look normal. That's what happened to me. After Jesus filled the void, I used to feel empty and all that. So I didn't want anything else. The things of the world, I count them as dung, because I know God has taught me how to live by faith. I've left so much fame. If it is fame, I tasted fame. If it is money, I walked in money. But God promised me. I actually had 4 accounts, 4 bank accounts that had a lot of money. But for some reason, I went to check my account and there was no money. And Jesus told me, don't look normal. I did not give you that money. Now I'm teaching you how to live by faith, and I will give you more after I teach you my ways. Seek after my kingdom first, and the rest shall follow. And after my righteousness, the rest shall follow. So that's what I did. I obeyed. And
you told me that you have a ministry with your husband. What kind of ministry do you do?
yeah, we go to churches and universities, colleges where we're invited, and we also mentor young women. We mentor young girls that are going through stuff like rape, and they go in silence. They don't talk to anyone, and we get them from the streets also, the prostitutes. And I even have 13 kids born from the ministry, from my ministry that we do with my husband, that are the girls that we have stopped from aborting. We have 13 children in the Princess Farida Foundation that actually was birthed here.
How does Princess Farida sing for the Lord now?
Oh, now
You want to sing for me?
How, yeah?
Yes.
There's this
in
song
Swahili?
in Swahili.
Yes.
There's this song that I wrote. It was my almost the second album, and it talks about I cannot live without Jesus. Yeah, there's no way I can live without Jesus. So it goes like, maisha bila wewe, maisha siyawezi, maisha bila wewe Yesu ni maisha siyawezi, maisha bila wewe, maisha siyawezi, maisha bila wewe Yesu ni maisha siyawezi.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that means I cannot live without Jesus.
Farida, that's